His is by far the craziest thing I've ever experienced from all angles. This is the story of how my 22 marriage lasted less than 4 months. I met her when I was 15 and she was 24. No, there was no inappropriate interactions back then. She was the older sister of one of my friends, and I had the biggest crush on her. You know when you're a kid and you meet someone you think is gorgeous and cool, so you idolize them without barely knowing anything about them? Yeah, that was my downfall. We remained in contact over the years, even after her brother and I fell out. She would check in now and then, wish me happy holidays. Simple things like that. When I turned 18, I had gotten right out of a relationship where I found out I was the other guy and was pretty broken up about it. I also wasn't medicated and I needed to be, so I was very reckless. I ended up growing a massive pair when I was drunk and texted her one of those super cringy, "Wanna hook up?" messages. To my surprise, she told me to come over. I arrived at her house around 4 a.m. and was sobering up by this point. Instead of a hookup, I was sat on her couch and asked a bunch of relationship-based questions like I was being interrogated. Things like, "Why did your last relationships end?" And, "Would you consider yourself loyal?" I guess I passed and we hooked up. Only she told me not to leave in the morning. I was enamored, and we ended up spending every waking moment together. I learned on day 2 that she had a boyfriend. I confronted her, because we had even had a talk during her interrogation that I was still super hurt by being the other guy, unknowingly with my last. After that conversation, he was wiped from all her socials. She told me she dumped him for me. I wouldn't have believed her if all of her friends weren't pushing me heavily to date her, telling me she adores me and I'd be stupid not to. So I did. We were official. Here is where it gets insane and stupid. 2 weeks and we were drunk and having these super in-depth talks. I jokingly asked her to marry me. To my surprise, she took it serious. She said yes. That's when my shitty mental health was like, "You've always wanted a wife. Here is your chance to be with someone you've wanted for years." So we eloped that night. I moved in with her. We were together nonstop, only separated when I was doing shifts. And they weren't that long. I also often work from home. I told her more than I have ever told anyone to this day. I just dove right in and put my heart on my sleeve. I wanted it to work and have that real partnership. I was always there for her. Incredible, near constant sex. Comforted her about all her traumas. Ran to her if she needed. I even cut off all my female friends, so almost all my friends, because I'm a very charismatic person who often comes off flirty. I was told if I accidentally flirted, she would leave me. I was trying to be all in. 2 months in. Yes, 2 months. She started getting distant and not answering her phone. She wouldn't want to be around me all the time anymore. She would disappear all the time and come home super late. I knew something was up, so I asked her. I told her she could tell me anything. She even knew from previous discussions I'm not a jealous person. That I do open or poly, but she didn't want that. She started gaslighting, the proper use, telling me that everything was perfectly fine, that she loved me more than anyone, and she doesn't know why I would think anything is wrong. I knew it was off. Within a week, I was contacted by these two random dudes saying they wanted to talk to me. I already knew what was up. I met them at a local coffee shop with a girl that was my wife's friend. They told me so much SHD. She had been two-timing them behind my back. They didn't know she was married until she introduced them to her friends and expected them to say nothing. But her one friend did because she thought I deserved better. I was shown graphic text exchanges, nude photo exchanges. At least one had clearly been around since we got married and they had been hooking up. She was SHD talking me to them, saying I was neglecting her and ignored her. She was the one leaving me on read and not talking to me the past week, and prior we were hanging off each other. On top of that, her friend told me that relationship she had before didn't end when she told me it did. Her previous boyfriend left her when he became aware she was suddenly married to me. He didn't even know I existed. His girlfriend was just randomly married to someone else, and she picked up another right after. They asked me if I was going to stay with her, and I told them they could have her. At least one was kinda hostile and went, "Wow, you're giving up that easy? Why the hell would I stay?" I confronted her when I got home, even told her this was her last chance to tell me the truth. She told me I was crazy, and she doesn't know why I wouldn't trust her. I showed her all the evidence. She acted baffled and like she didn't even know what it all was. So I packed my things and left. Filed for divorce immediately. The next day after I moved out, she was posting photos with another guy I didn't recognize. She was in a relationship with him now. Less than 12 hours after her husband left her. Most her friends still liked me and would check in. This was apparently a pattern for her, without the marriage, and every single tiny thing she told me was a lie. I was married to someone I didn't even know at all, and all I got from it was chlamydia. Might be my least favorite person I've ever met. If you're wondering, yes, she did try and mutilate her. TLDR, I got married to someone I had a crush on all through high school after 2 weeks of dating. She was cheating on me from the moment we first hooked up until our divorce, and was in a new relationship 12 hours after I left her. Even though she called me crazy for not believing she didn't cheat.